Hi, I'm Melanie with Parenting High Schoolers, and I'm here today to talk to you about 5 tips to help you score great scholarship money. This is a video for the parents of teens, but also teens, if you are watching this, I've got your back. Finding scholarships is the best use of your time as far as finding money for college. Let's get started. Parents can only save so much for money. So unless like grandma and grandpa are sponsoring a child going through college, I know my husband and I had no help whatsoever. It was all on us, and we had to pay my husband's student loan debt. So when we had kids old enough to go to college, we had not had a lot of time to save. So one of the things that we talked to our kids about was help us by finding scholarships and help us by getting the best grades that you can, having a well-rounded resume, and doing what you can to earn your own spending money. So that was sort of the groundwork that we laid for our kids. And I'm here to say that our oldest son graduated debt-free, and it was a combination of all those things. He earned his own spending money. He found a ton of scholarship money, both merit aid and outside scholarships. And then he also did his best to have a good resume and had good grades coming out of high school. The big picture is that you may not find all the money you need with scholarships, but it can be a huge chunk of it, and it is so worth looking into this. Let's get started. Some 5 tips to get you headed in that right direction. So the first one is set a goal. If you know where you want to go to college, or you have a general idea of the kind of school that you know what your son or daughter wants to go to, or if you're the kid listening to this and you know where you want to go, how much money are you going to need? How much money do the parents have saved? How much will anyone else be kicking in, like grandma or grandpa or an aunt or an uncle, or if you are so blessed, good for you. But if you're not, if it's all on you guys, then set a goal of how much you are willing to work as a student towards this, or if you're the parent listening, help your child to see the big picture. You've got to be honest about how much money you have saved up for college. You just got to have that conversation. It's not a comfortable conversation. I can't say that my husband and I enjoyed having to tell our kids that we didn't have enough for them to go to the school of their dreams, but guess what? They ended up having great experiences where our older two have gone so far. And it really does not matter where your child goes to undergrad. It really truly doesn't, as long as they graduate. Set a goal. And when you're doing this, I would say, how many scholarships does your child want to apply for in a month? And what is the monetary amount goal? I would say a reasonable goal most months is going to be 1 scholarship, because it's a lot of work. Now, if there are some that are a little easier than others, so maybe depending on the month, maybe 2 or 3. It's also dependent on the class course load that your child is taking. Do they have an outside job? Are they in a sport? So maybe there are some seasons or times where a month or 2 goes by and there are no scholarships being applied for. But maybe in the summer, even though they maybe have a full-time job, this is something they could do at night. Maybe they need to do 4 or 5 or 6 in the summer each month. Balance that out. So the amount they're going to apply for each month, or the number of scholarships each month, and the monetary amount that they would like to earn. The thing about it is, number 2, get started, as in right now, because your child will never earn a scholarship that they do not apply for. That's simple. It takes a while to figure out the system. You've got to turn every single thing in. It has got to be on time. And if you stick with it, the more scholarships that are applied for, the more that will be received. It's just a math equation. So number 3, write 3 to 5 amazing essays. If your child is not a great writer, or if you're listening to me as a teenager and you're not a great writer, it's okay. If you're only having to write 3 to 5 essays, you can do this. I would suggest Googling common application essays, and I will attach a couple of links that have some common things. Things like, my ultimate goal in life, my dream is to have this job, or this is the ultimate trip of a lifetime, something in the future. Also, something about saving our environment is a huge one right now. Safe driving, don't text and drive. There are some pretty common themes. And once your child has an arsenal of 3 to 5 essays. Those can be tweaked. And I would say 5 is even better than 3 because then you have more to choose from. Find the common topics. You need to write a good story. So if you are the teen listening to me, tell a story. Make it interesting. Don't lie, but tell it in a way that is, people love stories. So tell a story. Don't just say, write about the environment and we need to save our environment or we're all going to die. I mean, that's boring. So think of a good thing, and that goes into my next one, which is have a hook. This is so important. Start with a quote, start with a joke, start with a question. Have a hook that grabs the judge's attention. This is the best tip that you can follow. I mean, if nothing else, have a great hook. Get someone or 2 or 3 people to read it. Get your English teacher to read it. They are super, super busy. But if you can ask them enough ahead of time, when like she's maybe just, or he has just graded a huge ton of papers, maybe just say, no, we don't have anything up right now. Like, could you take a look at this and just give me some feedback? If you have a relative that is a teacher or is a great writer, enlist their help. Parents, this is a great time. If you know how to, if you're a good writer or someone that could be helpful in this realm of the essay situation, then enlist their help, because the better the essay is, the better the chances of your child scoring great money. Save each of these 3 to 5 essays in a Google Doc and then copy and paste it into a new doc and then doctor it up or cut it down if there's a word count. A lot of times there is a word count requirement or limitation. Skew it towards the company that you're applying with. If you're applying through a natural gas company, then maybe skew it towards that if you're talking about the environment. So there's so many ways that you can reuse these essays. Do not be afraid to use the same essay a number of times. It's the easiest thing to do. Number 4 overall. So we've talked about setting a goal, getting started, writing essays. So the next one is to use power words when you are writing. As a parent, I want you to look for these power words. As an English teacher, I had a list of words on a bulletin board that I encouraged my kids to at least pick 2 or 3 to include in their essay. So what I will do is find a couple of links to some websites that have power words for your child to choose from. And basically, a simple example would be, instead of saying the boy walked down to the lake, you could say the boy skipped with his hula hoop. Just don't say walk. Find another power word that would describe walk in a way that is interesting. Same with adjectives. Number 5, keep trying. You cannot win scholarships if you don't try. And parents, be encouraging. Don't nag, but maybe have a little reward if, the goal has been met for that month for the number of scholarship applications has been met or exceeded. So let's keep this positive. Let's work together. And some places to look for scholarships are to Google by subject or like the certain kind of business that you want to apply with. You look on Pinterest. I have a whole board of scholarship opportunities that I will link below. And then local businesses. Check with your local banks and insurance companies and all churches, all those kinds of things. Places are going to have great money that's just sitting there unless somebody applies for it. And another place that I thought of just now that isn't in my notes is the high schools. Check all the local high schools. The link that for their counseling, they will all have scholarship opportunities, and they're not always necessarily the same, even though the high schools may all be in the same town. Oh, and finally, good luck. Good luck to you and getting into college.